Hello friends, today we will learn about the simple fields, read-only fields and constant fields. Okay, so firstly we will discuss about the fields, simple fields. So basically without any keywords, if we define a particular string or integer or particular fields, it's called a simple fields. Okay, there is no keywords and this can be arbitrary type, or we can give a scope like access modifier to a particular fields. And what is the difference between the fields and read only and constants? We will learn about this into the code. Just jump to the code. Okay, let's start with this. I have created this class giving the namespace and created this class. I have created this constructor, default constructor or parameterless constructor, and I have written this void main method. Okay, so let's start with the simple fields. Firstly, I am going to define simple fields. Okay, so this is like a simple fields. There is no keywords like const and all. For example, giving the name simple fields. I'm just using the same name to show like at the compile time or the same time at the declaration we can give its value. Sorry. Okay, so in the simple fields you can simply define the simple fields, or you can give the value at the time of initialization. Like you can give the value or you can simply define this. Okay, it will not give any error. I'm just going to comment this. Now I'm going to define const fields, that is constant fields. Public const using this keyword const int. I'm going to name this as a pi. So in the math the value of pi is 3.14. I'm going to define this constant. Okay, so now I am going to define the const, but what you can see, like in the const at the time of declaration, it's showing a message like const field require a value to be provided. Like at the compile time you need to give it a value. You cannot simply define the const field like this. You should give us some value to this. I am going to give this. Now what's the error? It's a double, right? You have to give the data type double. Now I'm going to define the read only. So for the read only we need to use the keyword read only. Double, or I'm going to simply give this a int value. Read only val equals to some value 10. Okay, so if I'm not going to give the value to this read only field, then it will not give any error, just like the const. So what is the difference between const and read only? The difference is that in the read only you cannot give you cannot give the value at the declaration time, but in the const you need to give some value at the time of declaration. Got it? So you can give its value or you cannot give its value. Simply define the read only fields. Okay, fine. So So now I have created this class object SMP. Now if you want to change the value, like whatever, like read only or simple fields or pi value, or that is a constant value, what can be changed or what cannot be changed. So firstly check with the simple field. We can change the simple fields. SMP told simple fields equals to 30, let's say. Yes, we can change the simple fields value. Now I'm going to change the read only value. What is the read only value? It's 10. Now I'm going to define this 20. Can we change this? What it's give error? It's giving the error, a read only field cannot be assigned to except in a constructor or init only setter of the type in which the field is defined. So it's saying that you cannot change the simply read only value, but there is only one condition: you can change its value to the non-static constructor. Like I have created the constructor properties. This is the simple constructor. It's saying that you cannot simply change its value, but in the non-static constructor you can change its value. So let's suppose read only val equals to 30. Yes, you can change in the constructor, but suppose if it's a static constructor, I'm going to change this simple constructor to static constructor, then you cannot change the read only value. It's giving the same error, like you cannot change the read only. This is the read only field. You cannot change the read only field in the static constructor, but in the simple constructor, that is the public or public constructor, you can change the read only value. Okay, and let's suppose the simple field you can change anywhere in this particular class. You can change the simple fields value into the constructor or into some other methods for into that class, but for read only you cannot simply change, but you can change in the constructor. That is the difference between simple field and the read only field. So I'm going to comment this line. Now I'm going to change the value of const field. That is the const field. Okay, can we change the value of const? What is the name? That is the pi value. This is the constant. I'm going to change pi value, that is 3.14 to some other value, let's suppose. Can we change this? No. Constant value cannot be changed anywhere. Anywhere means anywhere, like not in a simple methods, not also in the constructor. Okay, now I'm trying to change the value of this pi value, that is the constant const, into the constructor. Let's check. Can we change this? Pi value equals to, see what it's giving the error? It's the same error. You cannot change the value of constant. So what is the difference between simple field, read only and constant? You can see here easily. Like you can change the value of simple field anywhere, like in any method or in the constructor, but but in the case of read only you cannot change in the simple methods or the simple class, but you can change only in the constructor. That should not be static constructor, that should be simple constructor or default constructor. But in the case of constant you cannot change anywhere, like constant is a static value, you cannot change to it anywhere. Okay, I hope you guys can now clear to the these constants and read only fields. Thank you so much.